Tippy top of the morning to you, laddies. It's me, that dude from Fallout 4. Then welcome to my Minecraft YouTube channel. Beds, fences, boats, green mystery blocks, animation update clues. Oh my. So pretty recently, Mojang, in what we could call maybe the surrounding to the poplar update, have been implementing some intriguing changes both in front of our eyes and a little bit behind the scenes. On top of that, they might be teasing a mysterious green new block, and they keep changing the sulfur cube, even though it's already done. That like button down below the video, annihilated for me real quick, and double check, make sure you're subscribed. Only 30% of you are. Shaking my head. Ah yes, the Minecraft Village, an infamously famous Minecraft structure that utilizes fences. Of course, with the fence block being such a unique looking block and a very useful block, inside of the game of Minecraft there are many structures that utilize the fence. However, in that same hand, the fence is a little bit more of a complex block than say something like, I don't know, cobblestone or oak wood planks. That could lead to, specifically on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, sometimes fences and some structures generating with angles or pieces to them that maybe they shouldn't necessarily have. You know, we're talking about maybe something like this, with a fence arm sticking off of the structure, even though it definitely doesn't connect to anything. Well, from the looks of things, in time for the poplar update, Mojang, they're paying a lot of mind to the fences, especially on Bedrock. We talked about it before, you definitely remember. Relatively recently, they added new components to the fence so you could actually control which side has the arm sticking off of it. This is a functionality that has long been known in a thing on Java Edition, but over on Bedrock Edition, being able to control all of these individual faces, that was never so easy. We'll now go ahead and jump ahead to preview 26.40.26, the update that we'll be talking about quite a bit today. And now, fences inside of pre-generated structures, so like a village, a mansion, wherever a fence might pop up, will correctly connect to the neighboring blocks. So, you know, less of these random ghost arms, and also, it's uncommon, but it can happen where you have a fence next to a block and it's meant to connect, you know, something like that, but it doesn't. These are issues that have been in the game for years on years, and now, of all times, Mojang is smoothing them out. Man, I really hope we can get that axe functionality where we can toggle on different states and faces of this fence, you know, just like Jeb was talking about, because being able to, like, toggle it on, hit it with an axe, dude, that'd be game-changing for building. Boats. Out of all of the features in Minecraft, they've been one of the more problem childs. You know, they used to be really janky, then modern day, like, I mean, if you want to break it, you gotta hit it a little bit here. Because they're moving entities, a lot of bugs around them, you know. Boats, they can be a little bit sticky, a little bit tricky. Definitely due to all of their complexity, that's why they're largely out of parity on Java and Bedrock. Oh my god. I cannot believe this day. Minecraft Bedrock Edition, we have a boat. I hit it with my hand. The exact same amount that I hit it on Java Edition. You know, just a couple of quick smacks and punches, and it breaks. So how this works in game is actually kind of crazy. So boats, they actually have, basically being an entity, some invisible health going on. Previously, on Bedrock Edition, 40 health. Because they were coded so insane on Bedrock Edition, if you were trying to break it with your fist in survival Minecraft, 40 health would mean you need to punch it with your fist 20 times, and then the boat would break. That is absurd. Meanwhile, Java Edition, the boat has had an invisible 20 health for a long time, which means that'll mean 10 hits with a punch or so, and then your boat will end up breaking. After only a million years, boats have now had their health halved on Bedrock Edition, making them easier to break, and boats will now regenerate damage accrued to match Java as well. Dude, this is crazy. Obviously, the fall update, poplar update, it's about a forest biome. You're probably not using the boat too much in the forest, but you know it. On Java, they keep fixing boats as well. We were talking all about the many handful of bug fixes that the devs had been cooking up leading up to the poplar update over on Java. It's crazy, all of the focus going into boats. I suppose all that I could guess right here is that maybe they're trying to just get it in parity, maybe make exploration involving the boat a little bit easier, you know, more consistent across both versions. Now, I've done quite a bit of testing over the past few days with the boat here on Bedrock Edition. Everything else seems to feel exactly how I think it was working before. All in all, just some beautiful random boat changes to make it so much better over the past few days. Hey, now real quick here, randomly in a video, I want to jump in to say all of my links are in the description, including my second secret channel. If you haven't ever checked out the Gram, my other channel, definitely check them out today. I'm always posting different content on all of my socials, trying to be real active, and on Instagram, giving you a look into my IRL. So check them out sometime, be a cool villager, and let's get back to the video. Now, our dappled popular update. Obviously, we know a lot about it. We know all about this brand new abandoned campsite structure that's going to come to the game with the wool stairs and everything. We also know about how, hopefully, the straw bed will be coming to the game as well. Perfect, hand in hand with an abandoned campsite. It's a new type of bed. One that is not reusable. One that does not reset your spawns. Well, just in time for our popular bed update inside of the fall update, Mojang is updating the classic bed too. Alright, so I never know when I'm going to get these videos out, especially this week. I have some IRL stuff going on, so this video might end up sitting in the queue until I can edit it for a few days, but beds. If no snapshot has dropped yet and hasn't changed this quite yet, this is what the beds are looking like on Minecraft Java Edition. They're kind of weird and out of place. They're like a random block model, but they're not even facing, like this angle isn't that perfect 45. It's like looking down and above at the bed. It's like a weird thing compared to the bedrock block. We're not like square on the corner of the bed or anything inside of the inventory. You know, kind of like this. Meanwhile, Bedrock Edition, the bed. Oh my gosh, these icons. They're beautiful looking. I love how the beds are done on Bedrock Edition with those little icons. But wait a second. Does something feel off about these? Little different? Quite some time ago, the bed colors were made a little bit more vibrant. Here you can see, before this update, we have the beds and how they look when you place them down, and then the bed item sprites, how they've been on Bedrock Edition for a long time. The most noticeable one to me, the cyan one. That's like so darker in the item form. But all of the items on Bedrock Edition were actually colored a little bit off. You see, when Mojang updated the wool colors and vibrancy, they never came back around to the item sprites and actually made them match. Until now, every single bed icon has been slightly retextured and completely recolored to match the colors of the beds, how they are in-game. So in-game, when you place a bed down, nothing has changed here. This bed looks exactly how the bed has looked for a long time now. The main thing here is when you're holding a bed in your hand and maybe you place it down next to a frame, you'll notice that the wool color on the bed will actually match the wool color in the item as well. Wishful thinking here, man, but with all of these brand new beautiful looking bed icons, I hope that they could maybe port these over to Java too. Again, not too sure when this video is going to come out, but maybe, who knows, if I'm lucky. It's already actually been moved over to Java. Next up here, Minecraft community tab on their YouTube channel, where they daily post something related to the game. Well, quite intriguingly, a good handful of days ago now, I keep getting so many messages about this, but what team are you? And then we have a wheel of colors with familiar looking blocks all over the place. We can scroll through these images. Team yellow. We got like, what is that, sponge or coral? No sulfur, that would have been fitting. But we have like hay bale, you know, other yellowish things in the game. Brown and all of the other colors until, wait a second, what the heck is that block? Team green. And we actually get a glimpse of that weird, suspicious block on our first wheel of color right here. There's a strange green block for Team Green, but that doesn't even seem to really be in the game. Or is it? So in all of the messages that I've seen about this one, I see people naming purple. Guys, you're flipping crazy. What are you talking about, purple? That's purple. That's not green. No, but it's the texture. It's the same tile texture as purple, except purple is lavender, not green. But there is one other type of block in a game that uses that exact same texture, actually, and that's cut copper. I hate to say it, it's tragic, but we have cut copper and the same thing as purple, which is quite intriguing. Maybe we should use that for a build at some point, but the copper, the green mystery, it's not quite an exact match with our cut copper here. Vibrant visuals. Now listen, laddies, I know a lot of you played Java. There's no vibrant visuals. It's been so long. What the flip is going on? But this screenshot right here, Mojang has said vibrant visuals is the new default. So most of these pictures here are going to be taken in vibrant visuals, and unfortunately, that's where I think this green copper block is coming in. You see, over on Bedrock, vibrant visuals, flip that stuff on and place it down, and still, it's not exactly actually a correct match. And oxidized copper, maybe that looks a little bit more green, but look, man, I don't know. It's like kind of weird here. Maybe it's taken inside of like a specific biome. You know how biome tints can change vibrant visuals. Maybe they edited it in post because they don't have enough green blocks, except they definitely do. But this block, I'm pretty sure that's got to be copper. I don't know why it is so green looking, though. If we go over to a warmer biome where you place copper down, maybe the tint is a little bit different. Still definitely not matching that green, but I don't think they would tease a new block in that way. Usually when we get our block teasers or anything like that, it's a little bit more obvious. This would be so random, and it's also been quite some time since this post was initially thrown up here, and we haven't seen any kind of green block coming into the game. I'm not too sure why they wouldn't just use green terracotta, though, like the glazed one or something, because they did it for blue. The coolest part of Chaos Cubed is probably the interesting archetypes that you have inside of the Sulfur Cube. The TNT, maybe the Magma Block one. You know, the ones that do something specifically cool. Well, it's been my dream, and I've talked about it in a couple of shorts here and there all over the live streams, but more Sulfur Cube archetypes. Maybe there is hope. You see, over on Bedrock Edition, up until about a week or so ago, the Sulfur Cube would be able to consume the Observer and the Redstone Lamp specifically. Both clearly Redstone-related blocks. Now, modern day jump ahead, and the Sulfur Cube can no longer consume either of these blocks. There is no way to get it to have a lamp, and there's no way to get it to observe. I tried to glitch it with a dispenser, and it doesn't work. Look, let's put it on our investigative caps for a minute here and think about this, because shortly after the release of Chaos Cube, we have the Observer and the Redstone Lamp randomly removed from the Sulfur Cube slow bouncy archetype, so they will no longer go into it. And what two Redstone related blocks would kind of be perfect inside of a Sulfur Cube? I mean, look, man, we already have the Sulfur Cube, a version of it, that can obviously interact with Redstone. If I had a Sulfur Cube, TNT, and I interacted with Redstone, it will actually light. So we've already got that mechanic where the Sulfur Cube can detect a signal being emitted, powered on here. Why not to take that signal and to make it power a lamp on, too? The weird thing about this change over on Bedrock Edition is the fact that on Java, the Observer and the Redstone Lamp are both very much so valid blocks that can go into the Sulfur Cube. So this change is just random. Now sure, I don't know how useful it would be, but it would definitely be cool to have a Sulfur Cube that maybe comes into contact with the Redstone wire, and all of a sudden the lamp will actually activate. On the other hand, it may be much more useful, Sulfur Cube with Observer inside of it, and somehow, maybe the Observer can observe block changes right in front of it. Then you could dangle it from a lead and move it around, so you have like an easily movable Observer? No matter what it is, it's a change that is so random, so late, and involves two Sulfur Cube archetypes, one especially, the lamp, that I think would be relatively simple for Mojang to throw into the game as a little bonus. Imagine being able to have a light that you dangle from a lead. And like, you can move the light around or move blocks around, have the thing come into contact with a redstone, and then all of a sudden it lights up, man. That'd be so cool. Like, my first thought for it is, imagine having this on a lead, you're running around somewhere, and like you have redstone all over. You could use it in like a maze or a mini game to run around and drag a light behind you to like, light up your path, man. It's exactly what Mojang needs for the Sulfur Cube to continue innovating with this thing. That is, if Mojang isn't going to just abandon this mob forever. Now, last things last today, I want to take a look at what Smokey Stack has revealed to us that the developers will be working on. Coming up here in the future for add-on creators, which always translates over to vanilla changes as well, Mojang is working on an animation update. We talked about this one before. It's very cool. Well, now we have yet another sign of a potential buffed up animation update being in the works sometime later on down the line. I kind of imagine an update like Tiny Takeover that added all of the baby mobs, except revamps all of the mobs in the game with different personalities and probably animations too. So over on their official Instagram, we talked about it quite a bit initially here, the Sulfur Cubes with the different animating faces. It's very, very random and weird. Why would Mojang put this here? This is definitely not in the update. Well, now, Minecraft over on Twitter has posted an image of a blinking dog, which is leading to a bit of speculation that perhaps in whatever animation overhaul Mojang is cooking up behind the scenes, well, mobs could begin blinking like character creator skins do on Bedrock Edition. I don't know, man. The idea of mobs having better animations overall, I love it. But the idea of the villagers blinking like they do in that resource pack sometimes, oh, I'm going to feel even worse about bombing these places with a halfy gas. Oh, man. Mojang, I don't know. Anyway, for today, laddies, that's all I've got. Smash like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.